Hey guys, what is up? Today we're going to be lowering the Camaro using Eibach Sportline springs. There are two different Eibach springs you can get. There's the Sportline and then there's the Pro something maybe, I forgot what it is. But in this video I'm going to walk you through how it's done. I'm going to show you, if you don't want to watch till the end, I'm going to show you right now. Here's a clip before what it looked like ride height wise. And this is just with my specific application. Here's what it looks like afterwards. I think the stance of it looks great, although there is one issue, minor issue that I have to fix. You'll hear about that later in the video if you decide to watch through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some before measurements. And we're going to install them, and we're going to take some afterwards measurements, and you guys can see the whole process and see the end results. But right now, let's hop to the back and get the rear springs out. All right, rear springs are easy, fronts are a little more difficult. Rear springs, literally just got two jack stands on rear frame rails, the jack on the differential, and then I'm just going to loosen these nuts that are holding in the shocks with a 21 millimeter. All right, not one to come, so we're gonna grab some PB Blaster, try that. Boom, that one came off. Okay, so that side's off. Just gotta get that side off now. So here's the thing, when I was loosening this, it was spinning the whole mechanism inside here. All this was spinning, so I put channel locks on this right here. Putting channel locks on this didn't, because this kind of free spins. But I put channel locks on this little, I think it's a rubber gasket or something here, and that held it steady enough and I could get it out. I did like 2 doses of PB Blaster, but finally got it out. So now we just get the shocks out, kind of set them off to the side, both sides, and then we lower the rear end down. We're going very slowly, lowering it down. Very slowly. Nice and controlled. Okay, now these springs are decently loose in there. I was just seeing how loose that one over there was and it just pulled out. I should have filmed it, but I'm gonna film this one real quick. All right, so, and again, if there's any tension at all, like you can see this is just kind of free moving in there. If it's not free moving, go to AutoZone, get the spring compression tool and do it that way, do it safe. But this should just come right out. I'll get it the right angle here. There we go. Hey, there's my rubber pad. All right, here's the stock spring. Here is the stock Eibach Sportline spring. Now this one seems to be about the same height, but what I suspect is that this is a softer spring, so it will compress more than this will, which is harder to compress, where this one I can definitely get a little more, I can feel it, but I suspect that that's what makes it lower, is that it's not physically like cut off right here. I think it just compresses more, I believe. We'll find out. And then you saw the rubber isolator pad fall out. Let me show you how that works. When you're putting your spring back in, you want to make sure this end coil right here where it ends, that last coil, you want it to be tucked in right here at this little stop point. You can just literally throw this here and then just, boom, clock it like that. And you'll hear it stop. You can't physically move it anymore. That's where you want to be with your spring. All right, we're gonna tuck in and up. Make sure that's on the right. There we go. There we go. You should do the exact same thing for the other side. I'm gonna do that right now. All right, now we jack the rear end back up, the differential, so we can get the shock bolts put back in. All right, shocks are bolted back in. Now I can put the wheels back on and let the car down. Now I'm gonna drive it just around the block to let the suspension settle a little bit, but I'm not gonna drive this very far after taking those shocks off and reinstalling them. Those bolts don't seem that safe. I have new shocks. I'm using the KYB XL or something shocks to throw in here. So I have to do this twice. I have to do it once to show you lowering springs without changing the shocks so you can see the difference in height. And then I have to do it again to install my new shocks off camera. I'm gonna put the wheels back on, drop it, then do the front, and then I'm gonna drive around the block, we'll do some measurements. I don't really wanna film the front. I'm kind of burned out on filming this. This taking forever. Trying to film and do this stuff takes a while. But there's a really good video from 3rd Gen guy. I'll link it down below. He does a very detailed how to get the front springs off. It's not that hard. It's similar and a little bit more difficult than this. Also, I was doing the front springs and I wanted to show you the height difference between the Sportline and the regular front springs, the stock front springs. The rear springs, there wasn't too much of a height difference. These though are quite a bit of a difference. I mean, that's, I guess I could. All right, so we're looking at a difference of, it's like what, 3.5 inches? Let me get you level with it here. Almost 4 inches. That's, I don't know, that's kind of crazy. All right guys, so here is the Sportline's fully installed and they're on. Now I'll get the camera level. It adds like, it's almost levels the car out. Mine came a little bit slanted up from the factory. I think they all kind of do. It almost levels it out, but not quite. But it looks really good lowered just a few inches like that. Now, I'm showing you this side because I was just exhausted, I think, and I did something wrong to where this one's not even close to clocked right. I think I didn't clock the spring right. So if you look in there, there's a big wheel gap, like bigger than factory, I think. So I went the opposite way on that front left tire. So I have to retake that, lift the whole car up and do all that again. But, you know, that's just, stuff happens. But I didn't want to do that and then film, and then because I still, even after this, I have to go back in and do the shocks. And then also, whenever you're lowering your Camaro, you want to add these to the lower control arms on the back. Whenever you lower it, it changes the geometry of your suspension, right? So before, if I can explain this, before the lower control arm sat at an angle like this, right? And once you lower it, it lowers the angle down like this. So these come into play, and these are lower control arm relocation brackets. These are just maybe like less than $100, whatever these, I don't remember what brand these were, but this bolts into your stock lower control arm mounting location, and then you can take and bolt in your lower control arms to either this or this one. You have 2 options, and that fixes the geometry with your lower control arm, and of course the adjustable pan hard bar as well, just in case. But anyways, let's get you some measurements of the front and rear so you can compare them to the beginning measurements. I don't remember what the beginning measurements were, but I'll post them on the screen as well. So the rears are about 25.5 inches, and before they were whatever number I'll put right here, I don't remember, but it should be lower. The front is about 25 7/8, a little bit under 26. So before it was this amount that I'll put right here on the screen. So that's the amount of drop that is there. Guys, that's the end of the video. I just wanted to make this because I didn't see anybody posting a YouTube video about the Sportline springs specifically, and installing them and what the before and after measurements were. So if it's helpful for you, hit the like button. If you have any questions, throw in the comments down below. Again, maybe I'll make another like update video once I fix that left tire. I have to go back in and do all the shocks, so I'm not gonna figure I just do it all at once. Fix that, put the shocks in, all the stuff, the struts, and get it all done at once instead of doing it twice more. Because like I said in the beginning, I didn't want to install these wish shocks because I think that going from the old worn out shocks to new shocks could also adjust the ride height a little bit. This is just a comparison, keeping the same shocks, just going with lowering springs, the height difference. If you're into 3rd Gen Camaros, I got a whole build on this car, all the mods I've done to it on this channel. So if you're interested in that, you can subscribe. But anyways guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Bye.